Welcome to the bold analysis. I want to say by first saying thank you for supporting our February project. We have managed to release a total of 15. Today, 15 stranded in Mama Lucy. Today I went there and again I managed to discharge 2 after discharging 13 last week. And I'm so happy. The project was about discharging some stranded women that had delivered and could not get bills in Mama Lucy. So we did 13 last week. Those 2, there is one who was remaining because the bill was huge and was still not able to be discharged. Finally, tuliweza kumdischarge and I actually got 86,000. So I managed also to release another one. So the lady that is just standing next to me in that photo is actually from Uganda. So bili yake tumsaidia, so he's also managed tukamlipia na yeye pia amerudi nyumbani, amerudi Uganda. Could not speak well, so we did not get his video, but her video, but we thank God for it. Now, hi guys, welcome to the bold. I am in Mama Lucy. Niko na Mary Wanziru hapa. Mtoto anaitwa Chantel. Yeah, so you are here. The other time we were here and I told you that kesi yake alikuwa amebaki kwa sababu mtoto hakuwa ametoka kwa nursery. So the child, that is why we came back and I told you guys that we wanted to make sure kwamba ametoka. Tutamsikia kidogo, nitamuuliza tu maswali kidogo tuambie more bit. Ulikuja when?
11th January.
11th January, yeah? Mtoto alikuwa na shida gani?
Alikuwa na shida ya spina bifida, congenital neck na club foot.
That's why alikuwa amebaki.
Yeah.
Okay. So huo na watoto nyumbani ni wangapi?
Ni watoto watatu wako nyumbani.
Yeah. So you know you're going to reunite with na wale wa nyumbani.
Yeah.
Wow. So what can you say? Unaweza ambia
nimefurahi sana na Mungu awabariki sana. Yeah.
Thank you. Na hata wewe Mungu akusaidie. Mtoto anaitwa Chantel. Yeah. So that Chantel akuwe mzuri. Asante. Haya. Sawa. I talked about equalization fund, and despite the fact that Mount Kenya had been clamoring for equalization fund in the spirit of 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote as an alternative to the 1 shilling, 1 man, 1 vote, the equalization fund finally was divided. And amongst the Mount Kenya counties, only Meru and Tharaka Nithi benefited. And again, there was one ward in Gatanga in Murang'a, which was also considered. But all the other counties, including Kiambu, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Nyandarua, Laikipia, and there's, in fact, even Murang'a, because there was only one ward. All the other 4 missed. They were not considered. MPs have always believed that that is the fund that was to help them in the equalization. And today, or not today, yesterday, the governors, a day after that report was released, the Central Kenya Governors Caucus met urgently to deliberate, and a video that has been released about the next course of action moving forward is actually very encouraging, and I want you to listen to it here.
The Sereb is the region that is endowed with a lot of agricultural produce. It has, beyond everything else, human resource that is hardworking, and we are committed to ensure that the revival of the Sereb will not only shake Kenya, but will shake the world. Why do I say that? Within this Sereb region, we have quite a number of the very best coffee, the very best tea. We have minerals in Tharaka Nithi, in Embu, and other places. Nakuru is the only city we have within the region, but it is endowed with the rare birds, the flamingos. Tourism is key there. There are quite a number of areas that we can venture into, medical tourism and very many others. But today our meeting was primarily to engage with development partners with a view of them working with us towards quite a number of things, and our pitch was for us to move together, create secretariats, and do great things for this region.
Tharaka Nithi has the biggest deposits of minerals in East Africa. The biggest copper deposits are in the Tharaka Nithi. Embu has discovered Colton. That belt go all the way to Tharaka Nithi. Lithium is in plenty. And looking at where we are moving with the cars that are going to be using e-energy or batteries or green energy, that is our future. However, it is good to tell investors and our donor partners. There is a tendency for countries and counties in Africa that have got minerals for it to have a lot of secrecy even around government.
As we are doing the priorities, can we also, and perhaps you have, I'm sure you have, but I would also want to make sure that we've taken into account the comparable advantages of each county as we decide what flagship to put where. I would also probably wish to see a breakdown. When we talk of agriculture, there's so much in that space. Sort of see what, like I know, for example, my brother here in Nyandarua fights with me a lot because we sort of have the same crops. We do a lot of pyrethrum, we do a lot of potatoes, and we do a lot of dairy, just for example. So I kind of want to see how that is. Yeah.
There'll be need to map out, because then also you cannot say every county must do something in health, something in manufacturing, something in the other. We can identify flagship projects that cut across different sectors, but supporting the entire region, so that we are not seemingly looking like if Governor Anne is doing her tomato factory, I must do mine. I mean, we can agree who does what. And if she's doing something in health, I don't have to do health, I can do a different sector.
Yes, investors are willing to come, but a lot of these investors, when they're talked to out there, they imagine that counties are as autonomous as states, right? And that counties can make certain decisions that here in Kenya, because we are partially decentralized, we're not fully devolved, those decisions are made at national level. When they are coming and they expect you to put in a certain level of investment so that they can put a certain level of investment and then they pay back over a period of time, that would have to be approved in a form of PPP at the national level. So maybe we also need to classify the kind of investments that we are proposing to come to the counties, right?
So that was what they discussed, and I think the idea looks good. They have a very good roadmap. How I wish there is a roadmap that can be adopted by the other regions. I've been seeing in Kisii, there fight, some boundary fight between Nyamira and Kisii. Same, I think, has been pitting some counties in Western. How I wish that we adopt the template from Mount Kenya, especially in the governors' caucus, so that it is duplicated in other counties, other neighboring counties, other caucuses. There is another caucus in Western. Western has a caucus bringing them together. I don't know the one for Ukambani is there, or even the one for the coast. I think coast also have a caucus. So that we pool resources. And that is a very good reaction, because two things are happening. Number one, the Equalization Fund is a fund that is used to support counties that are marginalized so that they can be at par. It supplements what the national government and county government is getting to support, is doing to support those counties. And Mount Kenya have always projected themselves, the crop of politicians, projected themselves as a county that was left behind. That a county that the previous administration rerouted its budget to other areas. And there have been attempts to go to public and project Mount Kenya as a region that was left behind by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. So that is the one. Number two, that's the first thing on the equalization. Number two is that Waiguru, the Council of Governors, has been crying and is leading a protest against Uhuru Kenya, against William Ruto, because of what they claim the governors' caucus are claiming, reducing or rather killing devolution. Despite of 450 budget, and of course I will have to analyze this in some other analysis, so just brush through it. Despite of asking for 450 billion to the counties, which is, the constitution says 15%, they should get 15% from the national government of what is of the revenue, of the GDP, I think, of the revenue stream. They are at 14%, and that 14% is around 439, if I'm not wrong. And they are saying the figure is going down as Ruto's reign continues, making a projection that in the next 5 years we might not have devolution. So it's good that, for me, they are raising the bar, especially in Mount Kenya, in respect to those two political developments. I'll have to look at the other one, devolution, in some other analysis. But then, why do you think, because yes, they've been complaining, and despite the fact that they are sidelined, that equalization fund, they're looking for other avenues, and that is what should be encouraged. The two counties, there is a county that is really doing well, that is Homa Bay, on revenue stream. On revenue stream is money they are collecting, because that is the next phase that counties must take. When you upscale on revenue, I think that's the cut, and Mount Kenya counties have already been trying to do that. In fact, in terms of boosting on revenue led, I think Murang'a is doing well. Murang'a and Kiambu is really doing well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, where do you think this move is critically was actually hatched? Number one, the county caucus, the governors' caucus, central governors' caucus, that's CEREC, is emerging as another bargain platform for Mount Kenya. Now, that is the only way they can bargain, especially if governors are bargaining, because that's what Ruto has fashioned government. He has actually fashioned government as bargain. You have to ask for your share. You have to, you have to bargain for your share in Kenya Kwanza. If in the next election, 2027, that caucus will then submit a report and say, this is what we want for governors, and this is what we want for our counties. And that's why I'm saying it's a good direction to take, because there seems to be, that is the language that William Ruto will actually hear. Number two, this move is critically hatched at a time when actually the counties are struggling. Like the counties are going through a problem in terms of the revenue stream and all that, and they're really trying to put up things in stake. Now, the good other input on that aspect of bringing them together, I think it will streamline some projects that, according to me, are supposed to be county projects. There is something happening in water. County government, there are water companies under county government. So there is Sea Water, there is Coasco, like that. And they supply water and collect that money as part of on-source revenue. Government wants to take over, to merge those county companies with the national government companies, so that water rates will be collected by national government. And I think, I don't know that water is a devolved function, probably it is, I'm yet to confirm. But I think if you want to boost on source, then we must let off some services to be controlled by the counties. Just like look at Mombasa. Mombasa is the entry port, where the entry port is. But they can't be allowed even to get 2% from Mombasa port, because they're told the port is a national government infrastructure. And Abdul Swamad have always tried He really tried, even Joho tried, Uhuru declined, same to William Ruto here. It is not really easy. He has tried to talk through it and to explain that, you know, give me a share, at least let me control something, but that has not been accepted. It's actually a tall order. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the first, that is the second input why I'm also seeing this coming, because it's going to help bit on that end to fight for some other functions that maybe the government is trying to meddle in. Number 3, I look at this tea coffee subsector. This tea coffee subsector has largely for long been handled at the national government level, where together we'll call conferences, we'll call, I don't know, TDAs and all this. But do you know that if it is domiciled somewhere, if these reforms are domiciled somewhere in the counties, it will work effectively better. It will be very easy because the dynamics are very different. Coffee in Githunguri can come to Nairobi for crushing, very easy. But how about coffee in the far end of Kirinyaga, the other side, or Nyeri? The cost of transport is different. So, as much as we talk about these reforms, because coffee is a household cash crop, it's a cash crop, but it's a household for many Mount Kenya counties. I think by them coming together, it can be a platform to help leverage on such projects that have been hatched and now being publicized as maybe national government projects. Now, the other third aspect why this move seems to have been hatched is clearly also on the regional politics. As we speak, there is elections by UDA party that are emerging. These elections, positions of county chairperson, county chairman, and all that are emerging. Governors are supposed to play a role. And they have been, I don't know, appointing county coordinators that is being domiciled at the level. And Mount Kenya is one critical space that William Ruto is looking up for in this area. So when this merger and when this is, of course it has been here, when this is caucus is being threatened, is being strengthened, I think it's also a very good intervention and it will play a big role in terms of managing the regional politics. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Let's meet in the next.